No offense, but I think you guys may be missing the point when it comes to the whole situation with the SIG P320. What's up, everybody? My name is Josh, this is Fledgling Tactical, and here to show my journey to proficiency with firearms while at the same time wanting to promote firearm safety. Let's get right into the video. So in today's video, I did want to talk about something that has been just rampant in the gun YouTube communities, and that's going to be talking about the issues and subsequent things that happen with this SIG P320. Now, I won't go over each and every specific instance of the SIG P320 going off. Just the bread and butter of it all is that the SIG P320 has a problem. And that problem is that there is potential for that firearm to discharge without the proper encouragement, without the proper actions being taken into place. And that's a huge issue for someone who values firearm safety, which I think all of us should. Now, there was a video put out by Wyoming Gun Project that he basically did a couple things to consistently make the SIG P320 go off without the appropriate trigger pull, and that is wildly concerning. And what is more telling, in my opinion, is the way that SIG reacts to all these problems happening, and that, I think, is the core of the issue here. Now, allow me to paint a picture for you guys. Say you buy, a car, and there is a problem that comes straight from the factory. The manufacturer, there is a flaw that potentially puts yourself in more danger. As a consumer, I'm going to want them to rectify the wrong coming straight out of the factory. This is a matter of mitigating all potential safety hazards. And so you would expect a company to recall these cars if you bought that car. Makes total sense. And it happens all the time. That's not the issue, that, some things slip through the cracks and then they need to recall it. But a recall from a company, in my mind personally, means that they're taking accountability, fixing the issue that they produced, and hopefully making your experience safer for it. Now, I'm not going to just be disingenuous and not say that SIG has done absolutely nothing. Back in August of 2017, Sig Sauer did do a voluntary trigger upgrade, free trigger upgrade for people who did own the 320, because back then they found issues with it not being drop safe, meaning if you drop the gun, it potentially may fire around, which is very dangerous. And that is great of SIG to do some sort of program to kind of try and rectify the issue that's going on here. But now in 2025, and I think this has been going on for a number of months now, but now we are finding that there is another issue that's coming from the same platform. So there is something going on that needs to be fixed, and unfortunately, in my opinion, SIG isn't handling it in a way that I find satisfactory. Now, if this were just a one-off instance where one person had the firearm, unfortunately, unintentionally discharged and caused a dangerous situation, I wouldn't really bat an eye, because there will always be a lemon. There will always be one instance where it's just unfortunately unaccounted for. But the fact that it can be replicated, that the firearm can discharge without an appropriate pull of the trigger, and multiple and numerous occasions where the firearm has gone off while holstered. I mean, there are plenty of law enforcement examples where that has happened in the past. And so this repeatable flaw, I think, is something that needs to be addressed, that should be addressed, and that I just want a company that produces a firearm to take accountability for the product that they produce. Now, this isn't just a direct attack on Sig Sauer. I'm only saying this specific example just because that is what's going on right now in the gun space, is that the 320 is the model of contention here. I'm talking about SIG specifically only because it is one of their products. I hold every single gun company to this standard. If there was a problem, we'll say with, Glock, CZ, Smith & Wesson, if there were the same issue with any other gun company, I would want the same exact thing. I would want the company to take accountability, and I would want to ensure that the products that they create are as safe as humanly possible to their consumers. So Sig Sauer did put out a response to everything going on, and this has been going on for months now. And they basically said these allegations that the Sig P320 is an unsafe firearm and goes off and discharges without proper use of the trigger is like they are wrong, and that all of these allegations are coming from places that are like anti-gun groups and yada yada yada, all this stuff. And I think that's a very unsatisfactory response. The fact of the matter is that there have been multiple occasions, both civilian, law enforcement, and now military use, that prove that there is something that can be fixed about the firearm. And these firearms need to be as humanly safe as possible. I mean, yes, they are weapons, but it should not be dangerous to the user, to the best of their ability. So in this whole situation, I wanted to just kind of illustrate the idea that there are three factors that you need to put trust in when you are handling and carrying a firearm. Number one, you need to trust in your own personal ability to handle that firearm. That is one of them. Actually, all of these are very, very like the most important factors that you need to take into consideration. Is you need to trust yourself and you need to trust your training. Number two, you need to trust your accessories. If you have a holster, that holster needs to be properly fit to your firearm and needs to be a holster that works properly. In that way, so it doesn't make your carry situation more dangerous. And three, you need to trust your firearm. If you do not trust your firearm, that is not a firearm that you should carry. That is not a firearm that you should use if you do not trust the reliability of your firearm, because obviously, if that firearm is not up to par with whatever you're doing with that firearm, then you can put yourself in a lot of danger. And I want everyone to understand those three concepts. Trust yourself and your training. Trust your accessories, meaning holsters and other accessories, dots, lights, all these things. You need to trust those too. You need to trust the gun. And the fact of the matter is that because of all these instances of the P320 having issues with all these negligent discharge, unintentional discharges, all of these problems, that shakes the confidence of P320 owners, and all of a sudden it's really difficult to trust the P320, and that is the problem. I do not have a go-to answer in terms of how this problem is fixed, but as a consumer spending money on firearms, if there was a problem that came from the factory and the manufacturer, I would hope that they take accountability and encourage them to ensure that their products are as good as they possibly can be. Now, I did want to reiterate, this is not a direct attack against Sig Sauer. Sig Sauer does make some great, and has made some great firearms in the past, over the past decades that they've been around. I don't know how long Sig's been around, but all I'm saying in this video is that as a customer, as a consumer, I would hope that any firearms company, any company as a whole, car company or any company, take accountability and rectify anything wrong with the products that they put out from the manufacturer. It is my firm belief that we need to hold companies to a higher standard so that they can ensure that the products that they produce are products that are worth spending your hard-earned money on. I do really want to know your guys' thoughts down in the comments down below. I appreciate your guys' time, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Later.